Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips, guys. Today is all about protection. Remember, always use protection for your PC. No, really though, guys, the focus of this episode is going to be the EMET 4.0. That stands for Enhanced Mitigation Experience Toolkit. This is an official Microsoft toolkit in its 4th generation that is designed to prevent hackers and ne'er-to-do-wells from gaining access to your system. Now, while a virus or malware or adware won't kill your hardware outright, doing software reinstalls can be time-consuming and frustrating, and there are some pretty nasty things that they can do. Like, they can actually encrypt your data and then hold it ransom so that you can't unencrypt it until you give them money, which has been a bit of a trend lately. So maybe these tips aren't going to be all that useful for you, but here are some general guidelines for not getting infected with this stuff in the first place. Send these kinds of videos to like your mom and your aunt. That would be very helpful. So number 1 is don't open attachments if you don't know the source. And number 2 is even if you do open the source, don't open it if it looks in any way suspicious. If it's just an email from someone you know with nothing in the subject and nothing in the body and there's just a file, don't open that stuff, because there are often hijackers or there are ways of spoofing email addresses that you recognize and sending you emails from people who you think you should be getting email from, but actually it's malware. If you're ever not sure, email or call them to ask if it's actually from them. Spam bots tend not to even be programmed to respond anyway, so that will be a good way to double check. Another thing is try to avoid using aftermarket copies of Windows. And I don't even just mean a legit license versus an illegitimate license. I mean copies of Windows that have a bunch of applications and stuff slipstreamed into them that you can download and then you can actually apply a legitimate license to. The problem is that you don't know exactly what was installed in them, and sometimes they can come with some stuff that is not necessarily good for you. Finally, download apps from trusted sources. Go straight to the developer's website or use something like cnetsdownload.com. You can use Google in order to find the proper website. It has safe browsing, and that will actually warn you, like this, when you hit a site that has been known to carry malware. Oh, I think I said finally before, but this is the finally. Use basic free antivirus at the very least. AVG, Avast, and Microsoft Security Essentials all come to mind, and while they won't necessarily protect you from the latest exploits with the best possible robustness, it'll be pretty good at catching older stuff and junk, and will bring you at least a higher degree of security than you would otherwise have. Which brings us back to the main topic of the video, EMET 4.0. It protects against stuff that your traditional antiviruses, virus definitions, can't necessarily target. Things like 0 days, exploits, certificate pinning. So a 0 day, for example, would be something that hasn't been addressed in any official way yet, but if you at least have something on your system that makes it more difficult for that kind of thing to gain access, you can have a chance of not getting infected with it. So EMET puts in place these preventative measures to stop these attacks in memory and remove the ability for remote code execution to occur. The main thing with 4.0 is the ease of use and install. Old versions were clunky and weren't very user-friendly. Now, it just uses a simple installer. We've got a link in the video description, and once it's installed, you should see a screen, a little something like this. The only non-default options that we really turned on were always on for everything and to enable deep. In order to make life easier, they've included profiles for many common programs like Office apps, 7-zip, MIRC, VLC, and many other applications like that. And in the main window, there's a list of all the running processes. So if there's something that you want secured, all you have to do is right-click, then press Configure, and you'll be good to go with a fully secured system. I mean, obviously, this, like any preventative measure, where's that thing I was holding before? EMET isn't 100% effective, but it drastically reduces the ability for exploits to deploy and beefs up security on your Windows system a whole lot. So thanks for checking out this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to NCIX Tech Tips for more videos like this from ncix.com.